Stop putting yourself on such a short leash, INFJ. I have never considered myself to be a perfectionist despite being an INFJ, one of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. I shrugged my shoulders at a subpar arithmetic test result and didn't give a damn about my grades. Being a wallflower and introverted by nature, I had a similar disregard for my social position and wasn't very worried with it. I didn't participate in sports as a child. I felt a mixture of disgust and disinterest at the thought of aimlessly whacking a ball in a field, on a court, or elsewhere. As a result, I was turned off by these hobbies' competitive nature. Knowing these factors, I eventually came to the realization that I simply wasn't a perfectionist, and this conviction persisted for the majority of my life. How else could I be one if I didn't exhibit the typical signs that suggested pursuing cultural ideals? This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. You've got New Year's goals, and HelloFresh is here to help you achieve them. Skip the grocery store and take control of your time and budget with delicious recipes delivered right to your door. Fast and fresh recipes. HelloFresh's latest line of meals featuring robust flavors and filling portions are ready in less than 15 minutes. And among my personal favorite meals is seared steak and potatoes with béarnaise sauce. We all want to save money this time of year, but did you know that HelloFresh helps you save money all year round? In fact, HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% cheaper than takeout. Click the link below to sample HelloFresh today and receive 21 free meals and free shipping. And use my coupon code POGHF64627. It would take me a long time to discover that, like almost all INFJs, I am a perfectionist. I was determined to arrange my thoughts because failing to do so would imply that I lacked self-control. In other words, I had great expectations for myself. External standards versus internal standards. My particular kind of perfectionism emerged less conventionally as I got older and operated more on interior than outward issues. I finally realized. I believe that many introverts, especially INFJs, may relate to this. Remember that each of the cases in my first paragraph has an outside standard. The typical perfectionist is constantly worried about performance measures that are based on actual results. They are worried about the judgment or standard of others. How do I rank among my friends and family? Is my accomplishment evident and demonstrated enough? In essence, the traditional perfectionist negotiates their value by considering what others think of them more than what they believe of themselves. This isn't to mean that INFJs can't be meticulous about their work, their batting average, or anything else, of course. After all, many measures straddle the external and internal lines. The majority of INFJs, however, exhibit a hidden form of perfectionism since they are more prone to hold themselves to standards only they can see. For instance, we have a strong urge to correct any unpleasant feelings we might have. We are constantly driven to improve because we believe we are not using our potential to its fullest. We could tightly confine ourselves to a hidden network of rituals out of a yearning for order in our life. For many INFJs, our mental health is a source of ongoing suffering as we scrutinize it and look for defects. This is partially a result of how much time we spend thinking. INFJs are known for preferring to live more in their inner worlds as opposed to feeling centered and connected in the outside one because they are introverts. We therefore consider our own internal standards to be considerably more important than those of others. We can still be quite harsh when it comes to the internalized norms we have, even when they don't necessarily show up in conventional ways. INFJs are incredibly private individuals who have a propensity of carefully hiding aspects of our identities from the outside world. For a variety of reasons, our internal standards frequently fit into this category. They make incredibly personal revelations about who we are, such as our values. Why bother publicizing something as fragile as our own standards when we are at the most at ease with public criticism? Having any internal criteria at all is how we carve out our own special route and reject the traditional definitions of success that don't always thrill or motivate us. We need order, but fundamentally, we prefer it when it fits our needs. Therefore, we set our own standards rather than ones that are dictated by other people or organizations. Although they can be demanding, our high personal standards can propel us to success in life where others may fail. Later, I realized that my standards were also constantly being revised and altered. The INFJ's relentless pursuit of self-improvement. INFJs are prone to going on a never-ending quest for self-improvement. Our type's judging and feeling functions are what cause us to be so hard on ourselves and so concerned about our well-being, respectively. As a result, we are prone to constantly finding fault with our current circumstance, and are maybe fatally attuned to the minute imperfections we notice in it. This sense that something is always incorrect and requires adjustment to even momentarily alleviate the restlessness. That's probably perfectionism, I agree. The constant pressure to do better can be a huge drag, disrupt our concentration, and heighten our worry. Unfortunately, this restless driving force is quite subtle, which is bad. It has crept into our thoughts' top-secret project hubs. We don't tend to advertise our self-improvement ideas. That would be far too exposed and unsafe. Not to mention that it can be humiliating. As a result, we could experience the effects of our perfectionism in quiet without ever naming it. We could be blind to our perfectionism. Although INFJs tend to have a perfectionistic streak, we sometimes struggle to recognize when our propensity for self-evaluation, for example, goes a little too far and over the line into perfectionistic territory. We can be tempted to wonder if we are actually perfectionists, if we are the judges of our own personal standards. We can pick our objectives and define our own personal definitions of success. Others could argue we internalize the objectivity of achievement to a degree that other personality types are just not prone to because we reject conventional measures of success. Why does this matter? We often replace the traditional, external principles that other people place at the core of their vision with internal standards that can be extremely rigid. Give yourself a break. Perfectionism can be harmful. Despite all of this, the INFJ's unabashed perfectionism can be detrimental. If you're anything like me, it hurts because you're dreadfully ignorant that there is even an issue. You might be more harsh on yourself than you know. It's possible that you don't believe it's appropriate to lessen your self-evaluation. If you fail to meet the long list of standards you set for yourself, you could punish yourself. The existential burden that INFJs frequently feel crushed under can be greatly reduced by simply admitting that you have a perfectionist streak. It entails accepting the fact that just because someone cannot see your perfectionism, that does not imply it does not exist, or beating you right now. If you're an INFJ, you're undoubtedly used to being relentlessly harsh and self-critical of yourself. Because it doesn't seem to apply to you or you're not that type of person, you might dismiss the concept of perfectionism, but reconsider. Being kind to oneself comes after being honest with yourself. INFJ, you may not need to control yourself as strictly as you believe you need. Be careful what you internalize and remember that you are ultimately responsible for choosing your standards.